my god, it's It's time. It is time. Today I'm going to be talking about the critically acclaimed MMORPG Final Fantasy XIV, which has a free trial and includes the entirety of A Realm Reborn and the award-winning Heavensward expansion up to level 60 with no restrictions on playtime. I'm sorry, I had to do it. This wouldn't be a Final Fantasy XIV video if I didn't do the meme. Anyways, Final Fantasy XIV, fire, heat, gas, flames, peak fiction. These are the only words I can describe my time playing this game. I started around 2 to 3 months ago, and this is honestly the best MMORPG I've ever played in my life. Now, in my youth, I used to be somewhat of an MMO fiend, bro. I was playing games like Black Desert Online, Terra, Blade and Soul, Phantasy Star Online 2, Warframe, Maple Story, Lattale, Mabinogi, Elsword, Rumble Fighter, Zone 4, Fly for Fun. If there's anyone out there that remembers what Fly for Fun is, please hit me up, bro, because I swear I feel like that game was a fever dream that I made up in my imagination. And sure, I've had fun playing these games, but honestly, they never really left me satisfied. And for a while, I avoided playing Final Fantasy XIV because I thought I'd have the same experience. You know, play for a couple months, get bored, hop on every 3 months until I forget the game exists. But that was not the case. I ripped through all the expansions like it was nothing. At one point in time, it was damn near a job for me. Like, I would get off my 9 to 5 job and then play Final Fantasy XIV for 8 hours every single day. Even now that I'm caught up, there's still a shit ton of things for me to do, like build new jobs, work on crafter and gatherer jobs, unlock duties that aren't part of the main story quest. Like, it feels like I'll never run out of things to do. On top of that, I caught up at a great time because the final expansion to wrap up the current story arc comes out this Friday. Yes, Endwalker. So I decided this is the perfect time to make a video about my experiences playing through the previous expansions and my experience playing the game as a whole. It'll be similar to my Doom video where I talked about the aspects of the game that I liked or didn't like. Obviously, this video will contain spoilers, so if you're not caught up or you plan to play the game at some point, this is your one and only warning. I'm not trying to hear stupid ass comments like, "Oh my goodness, bro, you spoiled this one part of the game and now I won't have fun playing it." Shut up. That's on you, bro. So let's get right into it, starting with my favorite and least favorite expansions. Hands down, my favorite expansion has to be Shadowbringers, which happens to be the most recent one until Endwalker comes out this week. And the reason it's my favorite is because, if I'm being honest, I'm a slut for lore. Hey, yo! The story so far in Final Fantasy XIV is amazing, and I love learning about the history of the realm, its conflict, and its people. And we learned so much in Shadowbringers. I really like learning about the origin of how the universe used to be, how the Source and the 13 Reflections came to be, and the history of the Ascians. Like, finding out that Hydaelyn and Zodiark were primals was insane to me. And it makes it even crazier when you were realizing that they were hinting to this ever since A Realm Reborn. And the reason I know this, or the reason I can remember this, is because in Praetorium, that one duty where you fight Gaius, right? At the point where you fight Gaius one-on-one before he hops on the Ultima, he says, "Why don't you summon the power of the gods like you did at Cartano?" And he's like, "You can't, because your gods are all just primals that you worship just like the other icons." But the thing is, even that is ironic, because in Shadowbringers, we learned that the whole Garlean Empire was made by the Ascian Emmet Selk so he could push his plans to summon the OG primal Zodiark. Bro, it's so insane. And I'm looking forward to seeing how it all ends in Endwalker. Now on to my least favorite expansion, which is Heavensward. It's not my least favorite because I didn't enjoy playing through it. I just found the main conflict really frustrating. So we have the humans and the dragons, they're at peace. Then the humans get greedy and they kill one of the dragons for her eyes. So Nidhogg gets revenge by killing Thordan, but he loses his eyes in the process. In my opinion, at this point, the beef should have ended. Nidhogg avenged his sister, but he wanted more smoke. So he pulls up on Heavensward and he's like, "You human-loving pussy, give me your eyes so I can torture these humans for the rest of their lives." And Heavensward, bro, I'm not gonna lie, he kind of a bitch. He's kind of a snake. Because if you married a human, why would you let your brother Nidhogg take one of your eyes so he could continue to punish them? Like, I get he felt sad that his sister died too, right? But he should have been the middleman mediator and told Nidhogg, "Nah, bro, this is not it." Instead, he gives Nidhogg the eye, and then Nidhogg terrorizes the humans for 1,000 years, bro, which is nuts, bro. And I get it, dragons have long lives, bro, but still, 1,000 years? Nidhogg only had smoke on his mind, bro. He only wanted beef, he wanted problems. So that's already fucked, right? Then you have the Holy See, which lies to all of Ishgard, pretending that, yeah, we never did anything to the dragons. The dragons are demons, bro. They just hate us because we're righteous humans, which just leads to more bloodshed. So finally, you know, us, the Warrior of Light, we pop in, we beat Nidhogg, we bring back peace between dragons and humans. And you think everything would be fine, but nope. Then you have some whack-ass humans that are still pressed about losing their loved ones to dragons and still want to fight, which is insane to me, because what did we do all this for? We finally got to a point where, like, you know, we're gonna squash the beef. We both had a lot of casualties on both sides, you know, let's just leave it be. But they're like,
nah, my husband died, so I want all the dragons dead.
It's insane, bro. I swear the people of Ishgard can't see the big picture. They're so annoying and stupid. Next, we gotta talk about the Scions, bro, a crucial part to the story and our sworn comrades that we travel with across the realm. And of them, my favorite Scion would have to be Alphinaud. And that's because we've been through everything with this dude. We've slain primals, got snaked by the Crystal Braves, fled to Ishgard, fought dragons, fought the Garlean Empire, went to another dimension, learned the secrets of the world. He was there for all of it. And it's funny because I hated him at first. To me, he was a stuck-up prick, but he grew on me over time. And although he can still be annoying here and there, I can't imagine how the story would have unfolded without him. Now on to my least favorite Scion. And I already know I'm gonna get shit for this, but I don't care. It's Lise. Lise is fucking trash. I hate her so much. Okay, maybe I don't hate her, but she was so fucking annoying in Stormblood. And here's why. First of all, she's an imposter. This bitch was running around pretending to be her dead sister, and that is wild to me. Like, who does that? Now I get it. She had to flee from Alamigo. She didn't know what to do, so she followed in her sister's footsteps. And I mean really followed in her footsteps, until she felt like she was ready to return and help her homeland. Although, in my opinion, she more so used it as a way to keep running so she wouldn't have to face herself or the issues of Alamigo. And I would have been completely fine with that if she didn't act like a rash asshole when she returned. Lise was always kind of a ditzy airhead, which is why Papa Limo was always watching out for her. So when he died and Lise decided to stop pretending to be Ida and save Alamigo, I was hyped. But for the majority of it, she continued to do things without thinking. Like, she was always trying to jump into fights and trying to make her fellow Alamigans fight back, even though they were already beaten down after losing time and time again to the Empire. I understand her being frustrated that nobody wanted to rise up to the occasion and take their country back, but can you blame them? Every time they gathered people to resist the Empire, they would get completely annihilated. So of course they would become submissive and do anything they need just to survive. She seemed like such a huge hypocrite because she ran away from it all, then returned out of nowhere, yelling at everyone that it's time to fight back. That part of Stormblood really annoyed me. Now in her defense, she did get better, and they did get Alamigo back, but it left a bad taste in my mouth. Speaking of bad things though, let's talk about bad people. I'm talking villains. My favorite villain in the whole game, hands down, would have to be Xenos. That dude is batshit crazy. Like, he's the definition of evil. This man doesn't care about his country, he doesn't care about his family, he doesn't care about his own life. Because if you remember, when we beat him at the near end of Stormblood, this guy cut his own neck because he's like, oh, I will never have a fight better than this. Life is not worth living. He offed himself. All he wanted to do was fight, and he had the fight of his life when we fought him. He had so much fun fighting us that he came back to life, worked with the Ossians, caused a civil war in the Garlean Empire, and killed his dad, all so he could fight the Warrior of Light again. You don't get more villainous than that. This man is pure evil. And on top of that, we learn at the end of Shadowbringers that he is now using a new weapon. No more samurai swords. He's done being a weeb. He just wants to cause havoc, which is why he picked up a scythe. Yes, Xenos is a Reaper, which is one of the new classes being introduced in Endwalker. And it has me hyped because I want to pick up that same class, so it'll be interesting facing off against him as another Reaper. Now, not everyone can be a complete demon like Xenos. You know, we also need our mid-villains, and for me, that would be Ilberd. Now, while Ilberd wasn't a bad character, I found him to be a lackluster villain, if you can even call him a villain in the first place. Don't get me wrong, he did some fucked up things. He betrayed Alphinaud by making the Crystal Braves turn on him. He worked with Teleji Adeleji to frame the Scions of killing the Sultana. He cut off Ra-Bon's arm and sacrificed himself and other Alamigans to summon a primal. But it never felt like he was in control. He was always being used by other bad guys, and when he finally did something for himself, it resulted in his death. Every time Ilberd was on the screen, I was like, it's this annoying piece of shit. Let me beat his ass again. Compared to every time I saw Xenos Genos, I was freaking out because I don't want to fight this guy. He's beating my ass every time I've seen him. I'm gonna get destroyed again. Speaking of villains, let's talk about a whole race of villains. Yep, my least favorite race in Final Fantasy XIV is the fucking Lalafels. Now there are some good Lalafels out there, for example Momodi or the Sultana, but the bad ones just ruin it for me. I'm talking Teleji Adeleji, the person who tried to use the Alamegan refugees to take over Cartano. I'm talking Yu Yu Hase, who helped Ilberd take over the Crystal Braves. Lolorito, who knew what Teleji Adeleji was doing and used it for his own gain instead of stopping it. Anytime I see one, I just want to kick them in the face. But enough about the worst race. Let's talk about the best race in the game, at least in my opinion, and that would have to be the Auras. Now my character in the game is an Aura, but when I first made the character, I knew nothing about them. It wasn't until I got to Stormblood that we got to learn about them and their history. And like I said earlier, I'm a huge slut for lore.
Hey yo!
So learning about the different Aura clans, their culture, their issues with each other, and getting them on their side was really cool. I especially liked the Dorthel tribe. It was really cool how they believed in the concept of reincarnation. At first, I thought they were assholes who didn't care when their people died. This was after Gosetsu buried one of them in the sand and watched over the bodies so the wild animals wouldn't disturb the grave. But it's not that they didn't care. They knew that death wasn't the end and that someday their fallen loved ones would return. So instead of dwelling on that, they focus on becoming stronger and making strong vessels for their people to be reborn into. Speaking of death, let's talk about the death of some characters. Now a lot of people die in Final Fantasy XIV. I'm talking a lot of people. Naraxia, clap. Moonbrita, clap. Shiva, clap. Yotsuyu, clap. Conrad, clap. And a lot of them fucked me up, but some not as much. The death that probably affected me least in all of Final Fantasy XIV would have to be Papalimo. It's not that I didn't care that he died, it's just that you could see it coming from a mile away. So many death flags popped up for him at the end of Heavensward. As a matter of fact, he probably knew he was gonna die too. And he went out like a G. He gave his life to contain the primal that Ilberd summoned so it wouldn't cause another calamity. So I wasn't really sad when it happened. I was more like, hey man, he did that. He's a real one and he went out admirably. But there is one death in the game that had me really fucked up. Like, it's been months and I'm still not over it. And that was the death of Haurchefant. My boy, my goat, bro. They took him from me. Haurchefant was easily one of my favorite characters in the game. He took us in when we fled Ishgard. He defended us when we were being targeted by the Holy See. He believed us when we told him about the truth of the Ishgardians and the dragons. He even helped us fight the Holy See, only for him to save us one more time by pushing us out the way when ZEPHRIN tried to snipe us with a spear. He literally took a bullet for us, and I will never forget him. Wait, who's that? Ayo, who's that? Who is that? Who is that? And what are they doing with that? Please don't kill Haurchefant. Please don't die. Please. You're the only one I cared about in Ishgard. Please. Oh, look, he blocked it. It's fine. He blocked it. We tech those. Maybe we don't tech those. Don't die. Oh, he's gonna die. Please. Drop the shield. Deflect it. Something. Oh. No. Not Haurchefant. You were the only one I cared about in Ishgard, bro. You were the only one I cared about in Ishgard. I don't care about anyone in this country except for you, bro. You were the homie. No. Oh my god, it's ZEPHRIN. Yeah, fuck ZEPHRIN. ZEPHRIN a bitch. There's no way he's actually dead, bro. There's no way not, because everyone, I thought Nanamo was dead, but like, no, his shield got fucked, bro. He's not coming back. No. Anyone but you. Anyone but you, bro. I don't care if the Azure Dragoon died. I don't care if Emmerich died, bro. Anyone but you. You were the only one who believed me when I came to Ishgard. No, don't die on me, man. I'm actually so sad, bro.
Do not look at me, sir.
What do you mean, bro? You're coughing up blood. There's a hole in your chest, man.
A smile better suits a hero.
Don't smile for him, bro. He's dying. Well, that's it for this video. I'm super excited for Endwalker, and you can bet that I'll be streaming my playthrough on Twitch. So if you want to join me in my experience, make sure to follow me. I'll put it somewhere on the screen, or you can find it linked in the description. On that note, if you made it this far into the video, thank you. If you enjoyed it, drop a like on it, and if you want to see more content from me, consider subbing to the channel. On that note, I will catch you all later. Peace.